Hey guys, it's Kelly here again and welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another art related video. Today I will be drawing one of my original characters that is part of a story that I have developed purely just in my head. And I do, however, hopefully aspire to draw it or tell it in some form of visual way, so I guess we'll see. So yeah, today I'm going to be showing you basically my entire process. I am a very slow drawer, and that is why I have sped it up quite a bit so it's not full full speed. It is 3 drawings and it is of a character of mine. Her name is Emily. And I have been struggling a little bit with her because I've tried drawing her a few times and I'm trying to push myself to draw her more because I still haven't exactly figured out who she is, what she likes, and how she fits into the story. I mean, I know how she fits into the story because, funny thing, she's actually the main character and she's the character that I know the least amount about. So that's on me because I had an idea for her when I first came up with the story, but it was so cliche that I had to completely scrap it. So I only knew kind of what she looked like. She is a little bit on the short side, not a lot, but kind of short. Has a very tiny body. She's not very strong physically. She's kind of skinny. And she has long black hair and blue eyes. I have for a year now, I think, tried to draw my characters with different facial features. So if you've seen some other of my characters here on this channel, I have one character that is Jessica. So I tried to do her with a heart-shaped face and a button-up nose. And for Emily, I figured I would make her a square-shaped face, which you can't really exactly tell right now, but she does have that. And also sort of a Greek nose, is that what it's called, or a hawk nose? It's not too big, but it goes down a little bit. I think it gave her a little bit of a charm. And I struggle drawing characters altogether to look different. It's basically the one face syndrome, or the 5 different faces syndrome, as you can see in my sketchbook that I put out for reference. And you can see that she looks like a completely different character in all 3 drawings. So the one that I did with the Copic markers, that's kind of what inspired me to create this spread. I wanted to draw her more because it's important to have an idea of your characters. And I actually did a little but I sat one day and while I was sketching stuff, I didn't really feel like they were turning out great. So instead, I took my 3 main characters, which are Millie, Emily, and Jessica, and I wrote down all of their hobbies, all of their negative traits, and all of their positive traits. And that's basically the moment I realized that I know very little about Emily and I should really concentrate more about her, because I started out with her as the main character and she still is, but somewhere along the lines I just got so invested in drawing Jessica that I figured her out so quickly, and I know how she looks like, I know what she's like, I know what she does for fun, and I love drawing her. And it really tells you a lot when you have a bunch of characters and you prefer drawing a specific one of them. It means that you're having fun drawing this character, you know what they look like, you know what they want from them, you know what you want from them. And that's kind of what I want to do for Emily, because again, she's my main character. She's the center of the story and she's basically a big question mark. So what Emily is for now, what I have in my mind, is because of the story, she lost her family, her entire family. She has a younger brother and her mother and father are already gone. So I figured at first that she would live with an old aunt, and that would kind of give her some what was it called, like freedom, I guess. And at some point I realized that that doesn't really work because it was kind of cliche and a little bit convenient. So I thought about giving her a little bit more to the story. So I was drawing different faces and different characters. And I really liked a redheaded child character that I created out of a color palette. And I've mentioned this in one of my color palette videos, but that one I really liked. And I thought, okay, well, she seems like somebody who could fit into my story. Why don't I make her in some way connected to Emily? So I figured Emily, who lost her entire family, she might not have a great aunt to live with. So maybe instead, the last couple of years since her family's gone, she went into foster care, and she's living in a foster home right now. And the redheaded child is another kid that is living also with in foster care. And Emily, as she's a little bit older, maybe takes care of her. So going through that, I figured, okay, this is a nice backstory. I'm starting to picture her a bit more. And I picture her helping the other kids in foster care, and I thought that maybe I will make it into a girls' home, so there'll be only girls. And Emily has been jumping from home to home in the last maybe 3 years or 2 years. And this helped her develop, because she had a little brother also, helped her develop kind of a motherly instinct to the other kids and the younger kids, because she's kind of older, and she would probably be the oldest in most foster homes. So that's where I came up with the idea of having her take care of the smaller kids that are in foster care. And at first I was going to give her the hobby of taking photographs, or I wasn't really sure exactly what to do. I thought about her having to take photographs, but at the same time, it kind of didn't make sense, because if you're jumping from home to home, you don't have a lot of finances. You can't bring electronics, especially expensive electronics, all around. So I figured, okay, maybe we should scrap that idea. And instead, I came up with cooking and baking. So that would be her hobby. And because she always takes care of the smaller kids, it made sense. At least in my head, it makes sense for her to learn to cook and take care for the kids. So I drew her the second picture over there. I drew her cooking, and that wasn't kind of enough for me. I wanted something more, so I drew her reading a book as well. So maybe she reads books, and every time she goes into a different home or one of the kids has a book with them, she can read them and kind of escape her reality at the moment. She is also kind of timid and shy. She keeps to herself. She doesn't trust people a lot, but she is also very nice and sweet. And no matter how much crap she goes through, she kind of helps herself and the kids around her kind of get through it and move on, or at least she tries. And this is the point where I started to really picture her more. I already knew what she looked like. I already knew kind of her style. I already knew her backstory, but I started to get more of her current story. So I thought about making her have a very specific sense of fashion style, but then I was like, okay, she is a foster kid. Maybe she gets a lot of hand-me-downs, so she wears more clothes that were from kids that were bigger than her, or guys that were in foster care, or something along those lines. So I had a bunch of outfits sketched for her. I think I have it even on my Instagram. So I had a bunch of fashion choices, but now that I have this backstory, I don't think they fit anymore, so I might have to make some more. She dresses up simply. She likes to be comfortable. She doesn't like too much flashy things, and as I said, she kind of keeps to herself. So this is basically the point where I started to picture her a lot more. I think she will have some kind of complex with her hair, so she's gonna always want to have long hair, and her hair is like her baby. And yeah, that's basically it. That's as much as I have figured out for her for now. I will try to sketch some more about her so I can figure how she interacts with the other two girls, with the guys in my story, because there's 5 kids in my story. Well, kids no, but teenagers. And there's 3 girls and 2 guys. And The three girls I already have figured out. You've seen them on my channel if you've watched my drawing videos or my sketchbook tours. I have Emily, which I'm drawing right now, Jessica, that I've drawn the most, and Millie, who I actually put the most from myself in her. So that's why I don't draw her as much, but I kind of don't need to because I have her more or less figured out because, well, she's basically a lot like me and one of my friends. She has a lot of inspiration from my real life, so that'll be interesting how I want to portray that because it's gonna be something more personal, I suppose. But as you can see, because I developed Jessica so much and because Millie has more of me in terms of her character development, you can see why I kind of have them two figured out a lot more than I have my main character. And it's very important for a story because the story is only as strong as the main character, and when your main character is really not that strong, it doesn't bode well for the story. And it's very important, especially when you have multiple characters, to figure them out as much as you can. So that's what I'll be trying to do on my channel and the upcoming videos as well. Now I've moved on to the coloring at this point. I sketched out the sketches with the pink pencil. It's not a color erase pencil, nothing fancy like that. It was just the colored pencil that I found that was kind of sort of okay to erase, not really, but I tried. And then I lined them with my Sakura micron pen, and now I am coloring them very simply with watercolors. Now you might be wondering what's up with the weird washi tape on the side of the page. Let me explain. So this sketchbook is nice, it's good, I like it, and it has these thick it's mixed media paper, so it's thick pages, but they're all perforated on the side for easy tear. Now if I'm being completely honest, that easy tear is way too easy in my opinion. I just breathe next to a sketchbook and all the pages start flying out. So before I start drawing, I always have to stick them down with some washi tape that I don't mind wasting because kind of a waste of washi tape. But yeah, I did that on the first and second page as well, and on this one as well, because it's not fun. I'm serious. I just tried to flip the page and it tears right where it's perforated, so it's kind of annoying, but the washi tape kind of fixes it. And I also have these childhood washi tapes that don't stick very well, but somehow they hold the page together, so they're good and I don't mind wasting them. And they also give like a cute element to the page. I don't know, it's a little weird because it had like weird fruit things with eyes and fruit characters. It's a weird washi tape, but it does the job, so you know, that's fine. But in terms of the sketchbook, it's, as I said, a mixed media, and I really enjoy the fact that I can use watercolors in it. I can't use too much watercolors because it buckles the page a lot, but it's definitely better than all of my other pages and all of my other paper in sketchbooks, so I am happy about that. I always wanted to try just simple, very simple watercolor techniques and watercolor coloring to my drawings, or even just my sketches, or giving them a wash of color. I think it looks really cool, and I'm really happy that I can do that with this sketchbook. And you might have noticed on the first page I have my character Jessica and her hobbies. I started out with her. I didn't record her. I will put it on the screen if you missed it in the beginning. But I didn't record that one, but I really liked how it turned out, so I wanted to do it for all of my characters. So that's kind of what I'm doing with Emily right now. Now for Jessica and her drawings, I use a lot more colors. I use a lot more water, and so the page buckled quite a bit, but I think it works just fine. I put it under some heavy books and it kind of flattened out. I also used my phone is going off again. Seriously, what is up with me not remembering to switch my phone off when I start recording? So anyway, I used a lot more of a heavy hand with the shading as well, and I tried making it look messy and sketchy, and it turned out really cool. The only thing I'm not too happy about is because it was watercolor, I wanted to have softer lining, so I wanted her to I didn't want to use my micron pens and line her. I tried using, because I've seen people use these They were very popular back in the day. People used to draw manga with them. I think they still do, and they're not erasable, and they're very black, and they are great for lining. I forgot what their name was. I will put it somewhere on the screen if I remember. But I really wanted to have kind of like that effect with it lined with a pencil instead of a liner. But the pencil I used was, I guess, too soft, or maybe I didn't sharpen it enough, and it ended up looking a bit messy and smudgy and blurry. So I'm not a fan of that. I will definitely stick to my pen liners in the future. So I tried to keep all of the pictures kind of in the same, have the same feeling and the same aesthetic. So not only am I drawing the same character, but I'm also using the same colors. So you can see the blue from the jeans on the full scale Emily one is the blue on her apron in the bottom corner, and I think it's just the blue in her eyes in the close-up portrait. I also gave her red sneakers. No, sneakers. Sneakers is a different thing. So I gave her red sneakers, and I made the bowl that she's cooking with red and the book that she's reading red. So it has, like, it's 3 different pictures. She doesn't have the same outfit on, so she just has the same color scheme. And I think that kind of makes the entire page a bit more uniform, and it helps mesh all of the drawings together. Now, truth be told, I am not a fan of the one where she's reading a book. I think I messed up something in her face. Maybe her eyes are way too up on her forehead, so they should be a little bit more down. I'm not a fan of that, but I figured, you know, it's still a drawing. I still practiced, I still tried, so, you know, you get to see that one too. For my first drawing of Jessica that you saw in the beginning, I used a lot of warmer colors, or reds and purples, because I made her eyes purple when I was young and first came up with her, and I don't know if she wears contacts or if it's just a magical world where people can have purple eyes, but I'm really happy with how it turned out, and I love her red hair with the purple eyes. So if you guys think it's weird, I'm sorry, but that's just something that I guess is here to stay. And yeah, so I gave all of the girls different eye colors. I thought it would be fun to have just one more fun color in there, and that's why she has more purples in her drawing, while Emily has more blues in her outfits and her drawings. And for Millie, she has green eyes, so I guess I'll have to figure out some greens, which is a shame because the green is really not my favorite color. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. Comment, like, and subscribe if you like what you see and would like to see more. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye!